See, I think you look a lot cooler than me,
Well, that's always happens. That's natural.
I feel that I don't like how you look a lot cooler in
It's
your night
natural.
costume than me.
Natural.
I feel I've actually pulled the short straw because...
Well, it's just because your head's too big to fit in this.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Which kind of speaks to a truth of you being less cool, you know. You've got a ginormous.
But then I look kind of like Larry David.
Oh, you
got that skinny long.
You look a lot like Larry David.
Got a lot of
There's
Larry
a lot
David
of Larry
vibes.
going on. But don't say we don't do anything for you.
But who are these guys and why are they on a podcast? Why are these two characters?
I'm Cecil the Knight. You're a friar.
I'm Brod the Friar.
Brod the Friar.
My name's Brod.
I think we exist in 15th century France.
Yeah.
But
why are we having a discussion now? This is 15th century France. This isn't like
ecclesiastical politics.
It's definitely ecclesiastical.
So
is this a bit of corruption's going on?
It's like a 15th century. This is like 15th century question time. Yeah. And you're kind of the religious perspective, and I'm like the military perspective.
Wait, on the TV show?
On the TV show, yeah.
So we all talk.
You're the audience all wearing tunics and such.
And there's like a farmer who's stands up. Why do I have to? Why do I have to give part of my farmland to all these new people from Germany? Bavarian promises. I don't care. I don't care where they're from. They're not Norman, and I don't like them coming on my property. What are you going to do about the problem of the Bavarian immigrants coming into northern France at a rapid rate?
Well, that's a great question, Francois the farmer. Firstly, what I do is shore up our borders and ensure that we have more knight and army presence across our borders in order to protect us from the 15th century Huguenots that are coming across and trying to invade our stock market.
I would say just trusting God.
But you would say that, wouldn't you? Because you don't have any dignity.
This guy doesn't... What's that? Sorry, one sec.
Oh,
God.
He's using the God speaker to a trick again.
What's that? Does this guy have sex before marriage regularly?
No.
Look,
I understand. I understand that's a testy topic.
Guy hold many idols?
You know I only hold one idol. You know I only hold Brog or whatever your name is.
There's several idols this man holds.
You know me personally. You know I only hold one idol. Only one. I may have sex before marriage, sure. But I only hold one idol, Brog. What was your name?
Brod.
Brod
the Friar.
Brod the Friar. Yeah, I feel we disagree on many things, but we can come together. We're both nationalists at the end of the day.
We're both racist.
As everyone was in the 15th century.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, the one benefit of the olden days...
This is mead.
The one benefit of back in the day is because everyone's racist, at least
no
when
one's
you
racist. That's real golden age thinking, isn't it? Because everyone's racist, no one is. If every race hated each other equally, there's no such thing as racism.
I think you're really starting to channel.
I've really started to feel like Francois the Knight.
If every race hates each other equally,
there's no such thing as racism. Because there's no inequality of that. There's equality. There's equality in our hatred.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to strive for peace, let's arm up our army, our divisions.
Arm the army up.
Arm the army. Get the nobility out with their swords, and let's fight for some equal hatred.
Let's do it for equal hatred.
Equal hatred.
Yeah, because back in the nationalist days, like if you were falling out about mead prices, or you were at the tavern and someone was playing an especially lively folk number. You've had a couple
on the piano.
You've had a couple too many meads.
I've had a couple too many meads.
You don't want to do. And then you start an argument.
Which is my right to do, Friar.
Which is your...
Friar Bard, Friar Berg, Friar Bad.
Brod. It's Brod.
That's such a hard name to remember.
It's Brod.
Where the fuck did you get Brod from?
Because I feel I'm very much a Brod.
Brod, yeah. Wait, what? I think I'm Brod and you're Francois, actually. We've got that the wrong way around. I'm Brod the Knight. You're Francois the monk.
Francois the Friar.
Apologies.
But if you fall out in a pub fight, you can go, well, at least we're not French, and then we're like, whoa, another pint of mead. Let's go attack him today.
Yeah. No, it works well. The hatred of the other it seemed to work for them in the 15th century.
It's a uniting thing, isn't it?
It really is. And there's a lot of talk. This is now Brod speaking as if he existed. We've just arrived in the 21st century. Okay. We've been pummeled in. We've been beamed in to question time. Immediately put in front of the spotlight and tasked.
Alarmingly calm.
Yeah. Alarmingly calm. Addressing questions from the audience. I understand your concerns, Vanessa. However, back in 15th century
you've
France...
just hurtled through 500 years of time, and you've landed, and you're fielding questions.
We're not asking questions. We're fielding them.
But there's no question. No, where are we? There's just...
We've got Fiona Bruce.
Brian from Stevenage. Go on, what's your question?
Fiona Bruce sitting in between the two of us, just mediating. But now...
Mediating?
Mead. And then I say, yeah, where is the mead? And then she says, it's a different word. And I say, okay, back to the question. I think no, but we've been tasked with saying what the 15th century church and our army's view is of the current world. And our main point is that you don't have enough racism.
Yeah. And then we go back through time.
And then we go back. And then don't say a word to our colleagues of the 15th
just
century.
leave it out. We just didn't think it was relevant.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth trying to explain. You told me that you got very drunk on Saturday night.
I had a couple of...
You had a couple of meads.
Had a couple of meads. Yeah, no, we got after a very hefty battle against the
mental health.
What's like one of those the Holy Roman Empire?
Sure.
Me and the fellow knights decided we thought it was worth going out and celebrating.
Yeah.
So we beamed into the modern times and went out to Printworks in London.
Did you go to Printworks?
Yeah. No, it was...
Were you dressed like this at Printworks?
Yeah, of course. Because we don't have anything else other than our chain... What are they called? Chainmail.
Chainmail, yeah.
Yeah. I'm wearing chainmail underneath this.
Yeah.
I get very into the character. Yeah. No, I had an all-day event in Printworks.
All day?
Yeah. We got there at like 1 p.m.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was a heavy one.
So, but what's the game?
What's the game? It's
what
called Having a Good Time, Horatio, which I know you're not that familiar with. But for the whole day? You're enjoying yourself for the whole day.
Wait, so you're in one club from 1 p.m?
Till about 11, yeah. So it doesn't go on till like 3 or 4. But
so you just chose not to have the night?
No, because it finished then. Because they don't... It's not that. Printworks don't have a license passed. They have kind of... Some events they can do it till like 4 or 6, but other events they don't have the license to do it, so they have to do day events. But day events are fun.
Yeah, but can you chat and stuff?
It's a massive place.
Okay.
So like there's food vans and shit outside. I had a very large hot dog and I went in there. Early on, I just met new people. I'd decided I was going to have a few Guinnesses before I went, which was a bad idea because I think I was 4 down by the time we got there at 1.
But you're probably anxious about paying extortionate prices for alcohol.
Correct. I ended up spending £200 in there, but yeah, no, it was heavy. Andrew gets very generous when he gets drunk. And he did a lot of rounds.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Not including ticket prices. So it was a £250 night for Drew. Day. I get very...
And that is all on drinks, pretty much?
All on drinks, yeah. Pure drinks. And, well, I got this hot dog.
How much was the hot dog?
The hot dog was £10.
Oh, my God.
Large hot dog. But let me get to this
It's only
story.
a 25th of the price.
Correct. Oh, yeah, God, you're not even scratching the surface.
How many beers did you drink personally there?
At the end of the day, I thought that... So when I left, I was the next day. I was trying to tot up, like, so how many were we on? And I kind of estimated that I was at least 14 pints in before I left. And then I looked at my bank account. I was 17.
You drank 17 pints.
Yeah.
And then you bought loads of other people around.
Oh, correct.
Didn't get reimbursed.
I got reimbursed for a couple, but
overall, like, if you're just doing it as like per pint to spend,
you
came out in the red.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're generous, yeah.
Yeah. Because I
do get very. I tell you, Andrew's like this. He's like normal, kind of like low income, stingy, and then 3 pints in, most generous guy in the world.
Anyone's having.
It's more like actually. Sorry, can we sort this out? I'm very like reasonable and stuff, and then 3 pints in, you're like Mother Teresa.
I'm more like an.
You know how Mother Teresa's always like, let's get another.
It's,
okay.
Hey, you're family. You do not pay for the
Yeah,
drink.
once after three
After
pints.
3, yeah.
Stingy before 3 pints. Before 3 pints.
I wouldn't say stingy.
No, I'm joking.
I'd say equitable.
Equitable. Completely, but then afterwards
Afterwards, it's your money's no good here. But I was meeting a lot of new people, and so I'd
you
first
want to make a big impression.
You've
just come from the 1500s.
From the 1500s.
You've
There's
got
a
not
lot
many
going
friends
on.
in this time
Look,
period.
I'm already feeling like a bit of an outsider given my costume and my lack of understanding of what dance music is and all the crazy lights that are happening.
But still remarkably calm.
I'm just used to a fiddle round a fire.
Remarkably calm.
It was like, wow, this is a new experience.
Is this what we're doing now?
I guess this is it. Do you mind if I cut some shapes? Is that just imitate?
Because actually, if you're in there, you'd have a heart attack surely, or something along the lines of a brain hemorrhage.
So. You'd
if
think.
Genuinely, if a knight transported through time and then landed in Printworks.
In Printworks, yeah, you'd
the
think,
lights.
Well, they believe they've gone to hell or purgatory.
Yeah, it'd be hell. It'd be hell. It'd be the superstitions. And the superstitions of the time.
Yeah, you know how they felt about techno
exactly.
in that age. But I decided to get a hot dog early on because I am a smart person who realizes that it's going to be a long day of drinking. Let's get your food in early, okay?
Please.
Honestly, please. I just met all the people I was going with. I was going with one of my friends, her family, and loads of people from her hometown.
When we're saying family, is this
her
brother,
sister and a brother.
Okay, fine. We're not talking aunts.
We're not talking aunts. I did agree to go on the assumption that aunts would be there, but I was regrettably informed on the day.
When you say her
no
family,
aunts.
brother and sister, I think is a more... Because when you say her family, it does make it sound like a family.
Well, that's because that's what she said to me, and it wouldn't be out of character for a mum to be there. You know who she is. So... She came with all these new people.
Sure.
I was, schmoozing all of them. And then we were sitting outside and I was like, right, I'm going to use this opportunity to get some food just as they arrived. And then went to go and get a hot dog, thinking it was, a normal size hot dog. My God, was I wrong. This was a large hot dog. Okay. This is a jumbo hot dog, a jumbo dog.
Well, it was £10 you spent.
Correct. So. Yeah, but you don't know in these places. A pint was £6.50. It's a fucking... yeah, correct. We'll get into that. But so I went there and then I said hello to them a bit and then I went to go and get the hot dog and then I came back and had to eat this massive hot dog.
Just after meeting someone.
Just after meeting.
That's not...
It was a poor time to get the hot dog. It was a right time to get it for my health and kind of my ability to stay going for the night. Wasn't a good social time. I was cramming hot dog, gherkins falling everywhere.
And small talking,
chewing. A plumber, yeah? I'm trying to swallow it. But when I went up to the hot dog place, I came there and then they gave me the hot dog and I went, wow, I didn't expect the hot dog to be that big. He then made a dick joke.
What did he say?
He said,
my massive cock.
I haven't got any, the ladies don't complain or something.
Okay, so and then got a little bit of
disguise and I immediately went, you work in a hot dog stand. How many times have you used that joke? How many times have you said that? Yeah. And then he made another dick joke.
Are you wearing a...
He said, are you from the 15th century? Oh, but no, that's besides the point. Can we talk about the dick joke you just made?
Answer the question.
I
landed on question time and fielded everything.
I fielded everything.
You can answer this,
you owe me this, sire. No, but so he then... The thing is, he then retorted with another dick joke afterwards. And I can't remember what it was because I was too drunk. But the man works in a hot dog place and I think he exclusively talks in dick jokes.
You must do. Because he can't... Did it seem like it was very much his character as opposed to him reaching for something new?
No, he was slick on it. He had the timing down. He made me laugh twice.
You got 2 laughs.
He got 2 laughs, but after the first one, I was like, of course, because that's why I went. Oh, you've got me there, sir. However, you must reuse these jokes. You work in a hot dog place. You can't be doing this.
What would your kind of...
And then he replied with another dick joke, and I went, fair play, sir.
So you're in a hot dog van.
Yeah.
What's your comedic approach? You've got 12
This
hours
looks like my dong.
So in what context is that? Are you shouting that out?
I'm shouting that out to strangers who are walking past and considering getting a hot dog. Hot dogs,
not much disguise.
They look like my dong. They look like a cock.
It's less kind of artful when you just...
Hot dogs, they look like a penis.
It's once again, it feels
what?
It feels like he does more innuendo where he implies.
What, the actual guy?
Yeah, I feel
he's much more trained than me, but he's also had the benefit.
Hot dogs, they look like my penis.
Or a penis. A penis.
I guess it just doesn't have the same sort of charm to...
Look, I'm a 15th century knight just being in. You can't expect me to fucking come up with these kind of hot dogs. That's the first time I've seen a hot dog. So I don't even...
Hot dogs. They look like my penis.
Maybe that is something a knight would say. Come and get your penis food. Because that's the only thing because that's the only thing they can understand it by. It looks like a penis.
Do you want ketchup on this penis food? Once again,
what's ketchup? What's ketchup? What's a bun? There's too many questions. I
think you know what a bun is.
I think I know what a bun is.
You probably know what a sausage is as well. Hot dog is actually one of the only things that you might make a little bit of sense to.
You know what? It was Bavarian sausage.
Was it actually?
So I would have spat that on the floor and then trampled on it because we don't like the Germans.
We don't like
the Germans. Were they Germans?
Because if it was like paella or something, I would have
just
like
immediately attacked them.
Ramen. That's just like
no.
A sausage in bread.
Yeah, but it's a German sausage in German bread.
Exactly. So anyway, we're still at about 2 p.m.
That was the start of the night. That was me trying to get in my preparation early on.
Yeah.
The rest is a bit of a blur. I made a lot of different so I remember distinctly this man who I met in the smoking, he kept giving me starbursts, and I don't really have a sweet tooth, but I felt that it was rude to not take the starbursts. I kept getting starbursts and then just pocketing them, and he kept giving me starbursts, and then I forgot about this until 2 days later. I put my jacket on and I had like 5 starbursts in my pocket. I was like, oh yeah, the starburst guy. He was very insistent on giving me starbursts.
Was it one of those thin tubes or was it a big multi-pack?
It was a thin tube.
No, it wasn't.
But he had more than one. He had more than one. And for some reason...
Was another guy trying to make friends? He was probably from the 15th...
We were both probably just fucked there going, do you know anyone here? No, neither. Are you from the 15th century as well? No. Yeah, neither. And then, so there was one artist that I was really looking forward to seeing called Stefan Bodzin. And
also sounds like he's from the 1500s.
He also sounds like he's from the 1500s.
Sounds like he's a flute player.
Yeah, Lord Stefan of Bodzin.
Stephanie Bod.
And I was right. Basically, my friend's brother turned out to be a very good dancer, and I do not take lightly to new people who are good at dancing coming in.
Yeah, because you're normally the only one who can naturally dance.
So I was like, nah, you're not.
Was he white?
No. Well, they're like Argentinian. You know it. You know it.
For a second in your mind, you just had a complete. I
was like, what is it?
No, he's. Oh God.
Oh God, yeah. I just don't see race.
Argentinian.
Yeah.
But
it turns out they're actually Spanish. Whole thing.
So they're white.
Yeah. With a twist. No, he was a very good dancer. So a lot of my time was just challenging him to dance-offs, which I can't tell you how they went.
Really? So you don't know? Or you can't tell you because you lost.
Doesn't well for the dance-off, does it? But I then went outside. I was in my helmet, chainmail rattling around, thinking, "Wow, I'm really giving this guy the number." Then we went off and had quite a few dance-offs, and I then came outside, and suddenly it was dark. It was like 10:30 p.m. I called a couple of people, not making much sense.
Really, just one of those ones.
Yeah, I was still because of the hot dog. I was still with it.
That was the only thing.
The hot dog was the only thing that kept me going. I was still with it. Still.
Did you stay the whole time?
Yeah.
10 hours.
Well, there's an ending, but then I went out and I called Izzy and Adam separately, and then I hung up the phone and I was like, when the fuck is Stefan Bodzin going to be? I've been waiting for this guy all night. And I took a picture of the timetable. I took on my phone and I'd been dancing to him for the last hour and a half. I just didn't clock it. My mind just wasn't working in a normal functioning manner. And then I realised, and I'd seen all of him. The DJ he'd changed since I was up there dancing with him. Not with him, for him. For him? Do you dance for a DJ? I think he danced for a DJ.
It's for his pleasure.
And then I got into my mischievous phase.
Sure.
And my friend...
Is this 15 pints down?
This will be around 15, 16. We're really hitting it.
You're hitting the final.
Yeah. I know. At this point, I was like, I'm going to deceive my friend. So she kept trying to find out where I was. I was on the phone to Izzy, and I went, my friend just messaged me saying, we're at the same place. Where are you? And I messaged her back saying, I'm at the back of the dance floor. On the phone to Izzy, I was like, I'm not at the back of the dance floor. I'm outside. No idea why I wanted to mislead her.
Just very slight.
Very slight. I think it's because I couldn't be bothered to go back up. And I think there was a moment that I was like, oh, you've just missed me. Because I was too drunk, so I was just kind of like wallowing around in the smoke.
It's not a great prank, is it?
It's not. I was laughing at it, but that's 16 pints Drew laughing at that. I then decided it was an apt time for me to leave. I was like, you know what? I think that's me done at about 10:30. So there's only half an hour.
If you're this pissed, you don't really have a Saturday night, do you? Because you've had it.
Oh, no, yeah. No.
So you go to bed like
very
reasonable.
Well, the story doesn't finish there, Horatio. I then decide, I think this is my time to leave. I've had my fun here. Printworks has got all of me that it can possibly desire or require. I went out, and then I realised that my jacket and my keys were in my friend's car. So I then went and sat in the pub by myself. I just had a Guinness. Absolutely slaughtered. Near her car. I walked up near where her car is and I looked up pub. And I swear to God, if you put a camera, there was this one bit where there were 3 points of the road, one of which was a canal. If you put a camera right there, I walked up and down and up and down. I was literally looking at my phone going, no, it's definitely down here.
On your own?
Completely by myself. Then coming back into shop being like, no, it's definitely this way. And then I eventually found it, sat in the pub, had a Guinness, by myself, called Adam saying, oh, my phone's going to die and now I have no idea what I'm going to do with my night now. Because I'd arranged plans. I'd arranged plans with 4 different people as well, none of which actually replied to me. They all aired me because I think they thought I was too drunk, which is probably fair. Which is fair. They've all made different excuses for it posthumously.
You killed them.
Hey, I'm a 15th century knight. Hey, look, if you...
They've made it after they've done.
Correct.
So you've killed them, and the ghosts of them have all come to you, and they've made different excuses.
Posthumously. Their ghosts, their spirits appear.
Can we meet up afterwards?
Yes.
They've all aired you, so you've gone, right, I'm going to kill all of them.
Murder.
You go round.
Because I'm a 15th century knight.
Sure.
Vendetta.
There's a montage of you stabbing these 4 people without even asking them what happened.
Some of my closest friends.
And then you go to sleep, and you wake up in the middle of the night, and at the foot of your bed is a queue of ghosts.
Going, sorry, we didn't make it out. I actually just ended up going to bed. And the next one comes in. Oh, the thing is, my girlfriend got really sick, and then I didn't have any regrets because you've got to cut people out when you need to. Look, we live by different rules in the 15th century, and that was one of them. No, so and the final part of that story was I was on the phone to Adam, and I was saying I've got no charge, and I've got 4 different plans to make. What am I going to do? I didn't even say what I'm going to do. He was like, Drew, just go. He says, and it's the drunkest I've ever sounded to him because he wasn't there. But,
wow.
I don't slur my words when I get drunk.
No.
But it was ridiculous. It was obscene. So
like Leo in Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh yeah. That's the most. God, Guinness.
And you probably thought you were making much more sense than you were.
Well, yeah, true. I mean, I managed to just hang on, bare communication. But he was like, "Oh yeah, go and ask if they have a charger at the back behind the bar."
Uh-oh.
And I went up, and Adam heard me just go, "Just something to charge this with." And they did, but the thing is, I didn't hang up the phone with Adam. He went, "Oh, that's a good idea." And then Adam was still on the phone while the guy just took it back and put it on charge. And then I felt awkward sitting there because I sat on a table.
Have you finished your Guinness?
No, now my phone was gone. It was just me alone with my thoughts
and your Guinness.
For some reason, and for some reason, I sat on like a table for 10, like right in the middle of the pub. So I felt like everyone was
Saturday
looking
night's
for me.
just started.
Yeah, they're all just getting going. I was
it's 10 at night.
Right. Everything okay. So and then I decided to finish my Guinness.
I would have loved to have wandered in there because we didn't know what each other's plans were.
Yeah,
if I just wandered into the pub ready for a Saturday night,
I don't think I would have batted an eyelid as well. What is it here? What's going on? No, but I decided to finish my Guinness in the toilet because I felt too uncomfortable just sitting. Yeah, just sitting on the toilet seat. Because I was like, I can't sit in the middle of the pub. This is too weird. I then left and found my friend, and then then the night continued in a different way.
Oh, really?
We looked around trying to. She has an electric car, so we had to go and try and find electric charging points. I was on maps. I wasn't paying much attention to the maps. I was more just going on some form of rants about different things. But all in all, a successful experience.
Would you say any of that? What do you think you learned from that experience?
I had a great fucking day, and I'll do it again.
What do you think? What do you think you learned from that experience? What was the takeaway?
The takeaway was that the Bookmark boys have a really astonishing repertoire of bookmarks.
So after that 11 hours in Printworks,
I woke up.
What did you...
You know what? While I was sitting by myself in the pub, with a Guinness, drunk out of my mind, I thought, where would I be without high quality bespoke bookmarks in my life? And these are the moments that make you realise what's important in life.
And what is important in life?
It's high quality bespoke bookmarks with different celebrity figures on, with their funniest quotes or most poignant quotes, in order for you to put them in the book.
More poignant than usual.
More poignant than usual. I don't even know what a tea cozy is, but I want one. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She doesn't just slay vampires.
What happened to Gary Cooper, the strong silent type, showing the difference between old mental health attitudes and new mental health attitudes? Tony Soprano, The Sopranos. The eponymous hero of The Sopranos.
My body looks like it's been carved by a 4-year-old from a barjet block of ham. Greg Davies, Taskmaster.
So, there's just a lot of options.
We can all get ourselves into jams on a Saturday.
Show that so they can see these videos. But what
can get
Andrew, you just had like an injury lawyers for you style advert of your night, and what is your advice to the viewers at home?
My advice is that bookmarks save lives. Bookmarks save lives, but they can localize you and make you realize what's important in life. Look, we can all go out and have a good time on a Saturday, but can we all go home and read on a Sunday without an appropriate
I think that's it. Look, we can all go out and have fun on a Saturday, but can we all go home and read on a Sunday? Weirdly similar. I went back home for the weekend and I had a weirdly similar Friday night to your Saturday night. In some ways, it was more, as is often the case, it was less sort of hardcore and more sort of
just weird,
unsettling.
Just weird. You always, I have stupid nights. You just have horrible, weird, creepy.
It was so we went down for Bonfire night, and my hometown, I come from Lewis, and you've been to Bonfire night, which is like, for those of you who don't know, do look it up. It's one of the wildest things you see in this country is Lewis Bonfire night celebrations. They go, like, they're the biggest bonfire celebration in the country, and the second biggest doesn't even touch the sides. It's this ancient tradition.
What is the second biggest?
I have no idea, but it just wouldn't. So lots of people say, I've got, in my village, we do a big, and I'm like, I don't even want to hear it. You just don't get it.
You hear some people from Cookville.
It's just, you just don't.
No, you don't understand.
It's just not even on the same level. Lewis is a very quiet, gentle town.
Call it quaint if you want to.
It's quaint, it's old, it's got a castle, and then once a year it turns into the fucking purge, where this is the most important day for most proper Lewisians. That I'm not really one of them. They have Bonfire night because Bloody Mary killed about 17 martyrs.
Bloody Mary.
Because Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary did that again.
That's why they call her Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
There was like
again
another Protestant martyr.
What are we going to do with Bloody Mary?
Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Because she killed a lot of Protestant martyrs, and Lewis actually burnt them in the town centre.
At the stake, no less.
They celebrate hard, where they'll have processions that take an hour, maybe 2 hours, around the whole town with about 10, maybe 12 different bonfire societies, each with their own bonfire jumpers that they've been wearing for literal centuries.
Bonfire jumpers.
Which are like these stripy, they look like the Beano.
They do look like the Beano.
And each society has different colours.
Yeah.
It depends what area you're from. It's your base of the community.
Imagine the Crips versus the Bloods, but like white middle class.
Well, it's less middle class than I thought.
Year.
It's kind of just country somehow. It's not really that. Yeah, I've recently realised it's got more dimensions to it than I thought. Like it's not a posh thing. It's hard to place. You know, it's not like a fox hunt or something. It doesn't have those sort of vibes. It's a very like community parochial thing.
Yeah.
And then they each have different processions where they all have burning torches. They dress up as loads of different countries and cultures. Some potentially uncomfortable, which we'll get onto.
We'll get onto.
Because this is...
Just hold your horses.
Only recently has this come up, even though they've been doing this for centuries. And then all of those bonfire societies lead off and they have a huge fireworks display. So you have... In the town, you'll have 12 of the biggest fireworks displays you've ever seen, all happening at once. It's wild. I took down 2 of my friends and I was like, it's always fun to show people this because it's like, this is like nothing you've ever seen before.
Completely new experience.
It will absolutely blow your face off if you haven't seen it. I was very excited. I'd gone with my... BB went down to friends from comedy came down. My sister went down with 2 of her friends, and we were going down. It was great.
Did you guys go down at all?
We did go down. And my sister decided to make hash brownies, which I thought would be great, just as like a little. I wanted to see what it'd be like high or psychedelic.
Yeah.
And then my sister didn't know how much to put in it, and she couldn't find anywhere about hash.
That is a very poor start, because those things can absolutely obliterate you.
And so my dad had given both of us, because he couldn't take it back with him.
Even worse start.
Yeah. He'd give us 12 grams of, when he does the whole thing about this stuff.
Yeah, when he gets his little weed box.
Yeah, my dad's, when he's like, trust me, this Balinese stuff, this is from...
Yeah.
This is
and it's all just
some of the best Jamaican kush you've ever tried.
It's all loose and twiggy
like
in
weird.
a box.
Yeah. But he had this with his hash, and she'd never made edibles with hash before, so she didn't know what to do. She put the whole thing in.
Oh dear.
We put a giant batch of brownies, and then we each cut, we're going to take a little bit, because we had no idea what it is. This was us heading out for the first time.
Yeah. Pretty early, I guess.
We're going to take them with us, because then we can take a proper dose if it's not strong enough. So we took a quarter of what you normally would take, which is like a brownie, just a tiny bit each. And then we get to the bonfire, and it's perfect. Like, it's just wild, because you're seeing this procession of really sincere faces, torches, dancing, and it's really good hash.
I guess wholesome, yeah.
It's really good hash. So it's like a really nice, pleasant high. And then one of the group, one of my sister's friends, peels away from the group, and my sister and all of her friends had to go with her, and she says she's not doing great.
Yeah.
She's basically had a freak out. I was like, okay.
I mean, it's a tough thing.
And then we're all having a great time.
What's wrong with this hoe?
It felt like it was like the canary and the bird. When you're the miners, you have the bird in the cage.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, is that going to happen to us? In about 20,
it's like seeing the future.
And then, it was great, and then it was really strange seeing it high, because it was really nice, and then it got like this. I felt been gone for my whole life, but I felt so disassociated from it, because they're all so not high.
Yeah.
Because it's a very serious community thing with these marching things. And then,
because it's quite a silly event when you look at it, and in some
they're
places,
taking it very seriously.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But parades,
and
are
then
silly.
we're all from London.
Parades are silly, but people within the parades take it so
very
seriously, which I don't understand.
And then I had a bit of issues in my head, because it's like, I've come down from London with 4 very London people, and I didn't want to ever feel like
city folk.
Yeah, I didn't want to feel like I was like sneering or being ironic,
so
or like
the paranoia setting in.
But then in front of me,
the
Native Americans passed down the. So these are people dressed up as Native Americans.
Great, excellent, fantastic.
One of the more controversial aspects. They've only recently they stopped blackface 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
But it's a start.
Yep.
The coal miners still black up, but it's with coal. So I'm like,
well, that's not blackface.
That's not blackface.
That's white people in a coal mine.
Yeah, but still, there's a lot of annoying white people on TikTok who keep complaining about it and saying it's blackface.
Is there a big backlash about Lewis Bonfire not on TikTok?
They're starting now.
Really?
But I saw in front of me when these mainly like 6-year-old women.
6-year-old women?
60-year-old women. Dressed in head to toe in the Native American garments, but like really high-end costumes. These are not like shitty. These seem like very historically accurate Native American costumes that they use every year. And then a group of young 20 or somethings started saying, "That's actually not okay. That's really not okay. Actually, that's racist."
Oh,
and then me, Sam, I'm still on quite a good vibe. Me, Sam, Laura, BB, were just like, this is happening over us. And she goes, it's not fucking racist. You don't know the first thing about it. And they're like, it's actually about respect. You don't know about respect. This is more respectful than you will ever be. And there's this huge fight start happening, right?
That's
and
the thing that you want a bonfire night, is a debate about culture appropriation.
But then the hash started hitting into where I got to the phase where I thought I was floating above my body.
Okay, cool.
So it became it became unbelievably psychedelic at this point, where I saw basically the country's fault lines at the moment, which is like old Britain versus new Britain, just happening. That whole debate was happening right in front, and you just realised how fucking like these guys have probably come down from the city as well.
Yeah,
and you just saw. I literally saw where the hatred comes from.
It was physicalized.
It was like these city people come down and they see that and they think, God, I hate that Britain's such an ignorant, backwards country. And then these people who've done this tradition for hundreds of years have these sort of snobby kids come down and tell them that they're racist to their face. Yeah. And I just saw it happening, and it was such a bizarre thing.
Yeah.
And it's still a pretty good vibe. And then weird country people, I don't mean that disparagingly, but one of them really booked me out and booked us all out, where there was like a 45-year-old dude, which is like, if he'd been older, it might have been better.
Yeah.
Just on his own, like a sort of normal-looking man, but a bit nasty. Started seeing that we were all dancing, having fun, and we just did this thing that a lot of quite weird men do, which is then start like edging towards us and being like, "Oh, so you only got one beer between you guys?" Because we'd taken a couple of beers out and white person, and it was like, that's not great, is it? And then like sort of roasting us, but then wanting to join in.
Yeah. Well, he sees it as his way in. He's negging you.
Negging us, and then we were trying to leave because it was getting fucking weird, and he kept trying to cheers me, but I didn't have a beer. And then that's when the hash set in, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to speak to anyone. It was, I couldn't, words were flying up in front of my head, and I was trying to grab at them, and I was like, I have no possible clue of how to string a sentence
different
together.
Letters flying around.
And apparently,
where did you go from there?
Laura, they were all watching me, and I was just having the most bizarre conversation with this man that went on.
Because you're bizarre at the best of times.
He wasn't giving me an out either. Like, he wasn't fucked. He just kept going further, and I was just trying my best just to try and get out.
So you didn't realise this guy is clearly on a different planet.
I was clearly on a different planet. And then we were like...
But that's the scariest kind of person who just thinks, for him, that's a normal conversation.
Yeah.
These are the people he speaks to where there's no coherent sense made at any point. Therefore, he's going to keep going into that conversation rather than realise maybe this isn't the most fruitful avenue to pursue.
But then I got really scared because they just like... I don't know. I've never felt more disassociated from like home or like the countryside a bit, just because I realised there was such a like, I don't know. There was like
two identities were coming into conflict with each other.
Yeah, but but it was like, I think because obviously it was because I was high as shit. Like
that adds to it. It might,
but
be the
you know, when you're high as shit, you do also can unpick some like
absolutely.
And so I was having this, but speaking to him, I was like, there was just something about the energy that was just so like, I'm really not. This is not my vibe right now.
Yeah.
And then people this is all their whole year, I was like, God. And then the kind of weird tensions of being high, and then like seeing the traditionalness of it, but then the burning torches and crosses, it was all a bit like, fucking.
It's quite a demonic, like we went there when we were kids. It was kind of, I mean, it was kind of freaky at that point.
Yeah.
It's the serious faces with burning effigies of individuals and the torches.
Yeah.
That I can imagine when you're absolutely clusterfucked, it's gonna seem even more demonic than it actually is in real life.
Yeah. And then we went back, and the rest was sort of a blur because Sam and Laura both threw up, and then I tried to get out to try and get to the fireworks display, and it was literally, you know, in those kind of early noughties films where they sort of show like a dream sequence where the body's like shifting through reality and everything's like time lapsed behind them, but they're not. And they're like moving through time.
Yeah,
that's what I did, and I don't really know where I went. I was going through Lewis. I was speaking to Lewis people.
Were you with people at that point?
I was with BB, and I think Sam and Laura came back out. I can't really remember. And then I was told everything had sold out. My sister couldn't come out again.
Everything had sold out? What do you mean?
All the
fireworks. Not just like all the products in Lewis have gone. You were trying to buy bottles of water. It's all gone. It's all over.
So yeah.
You drank them all.
That was basically it. But that was...
I'm not sure I'd like to go to Lewis for Bonfire Night High.
No, I think that was... I mean, because...
I think if I was there with you, I would have refused the brownies. I'd say no.
Well, what I think would have been fine is... Because if they had been weaker, it would actually been really nice. Because for a little bit, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But you just can't know.
Still, I think you need to wits about. There's so many like bangers that go off around you.
Yeah. And also, it's so stimulating. You don't need to be stimulated with anything but alcohol.
Yeah.
But the reason why I wanted the hash brownies, we should have done it for the parade, is I wanted to see the fireworks high as shit. Because I think that would have been fucking amazing.
They kind of mellow out for the fireworks.
And you're standing still watching this incredible... And that's what I wanted. But I was like, let's try it first.
For the parade, yeah.
That was the mistake.
The parade, there's too many odd figures moving in between and away from you.
It was just... But it was a tenser Lewis Bonfire than there's ever been. Because this has never been an issue before.
Yeah, well, do you think it's... Is that just because you saw maybe you didn't realise it earlier? Is it now just becoming a key topic?
It's the fact that our generation
are
taking a much harder stance on the more...
I guess there wasn't one last
specific
year as well.
Thing. Well, yeah, there wasn't one last year, and also the blackface debate has happened. I mean, I don't know why they did that in the first, but then it doesn't feel like they're like doing it out of a place of hatred. It's just like we dress up as different cultures.
Yeah.
If we want to look like Zulus,
we're going to do it.
Obviously you shouldn't, but it doesn't feel like it's done with like
But then why do they dress up as Native Americans?
Because they're just doing, they do all
but
over
then
the
it
world.
feels like they're getting away from the point of it. Like, what has that got to do with Bloody Mary?
I mean, if I was running it, I'd say just why not? It's not essential. Why not avoid the debate altogether?
Yeah, it seems like it seems like a pointless hill to die on.
Exactly. But I don't think the Native American one deep down is racist at all, in my opinion. It's ignorant and naive.
Yeah, well, it's a cultural appropriation argument rather than the racism argument. But also, like, if we've just talked about why it's such a big thing in Lewis.
Yeah.
Dress up as fucking Protestants. And
well,
Catholics.
They do.
Yeah. But then why bring the Native Americans?
You've got a lot of processions to do, and
they're just ideas. They're like us.
Yeah.
When they've run out of ideas,
we'll be Native American soon.
In a way, we're culturally appropriating right now.
Exactly.
About 15th century
to try and fill time.
Because people run out of ideas.
And we have to respect that.
We have to respect that.
And that needs to come into the debate.
So if anything, we're saying go out and do blackface.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do. If you run out of ideas, you run out of ideas. We're no better than them.
Yeah. But it was just interesting. I don't know. I just saw what was going on. It feels like coming out of lockdown, everyone's got a lot tenser in their own beliefs. I know you see it at comedy gigs, but I still mainly gig in London, so it's not as.
Well, I think it's an amusing idea having an argument about what the people in the parade are wearing as they're going past, and then they just get further and further away.
Well, they
go, but that's actually trying to get their final.
That's not okay, mate. That's actually not okay.
Yeah, but have you read anything about Jordan?
Further away.
But yes, that was my weekend. Astroworld, that's the big story that a lot of people have been talking about on TikTok, which is weirdly the first time I've seen a news story break where the best coverage of it is on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like Twitter, obviously, when it started, had a lot of those where it was where Twitter's where you go to for a lot of things.
Guerrilla journalism.
But TikTok, because Astroworld was such a young person festival, and the
God, you sounded old saying that. Fucking hell. This Mr. Scott who pulls in a very young person crowd with all these young people.
On TikTok, there was a lot of shit being said. What are your preliminary thoughts on the travesty?
Well, when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, shit, that sounds bad, you know. But, like, this shit happens a lot. Like, I believe it's a fact that Reading. And it happens every year at Reading.
It's never that many.
It's never that many.
Like one, maybe two.
Yeah, and over, oh, fuck's sake.
And often it's from drug ODs or anything.
No, but there's people get crushed at like Reading and Leeds on the yearly basis, I think. And it happens. It's like with these massive concerts, you don't often think about the level of security and safety that has to go into it. But when you're in massive crowds, it's a festival, and these things happen, and there, obviously needs to be some changes with it. But it's a tough thing to change. But so my immediate, I was like, shit, that's terrible. But like, I wasn't shocked.
I mean, well, when I saw the news notification, I wasn't like crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't like, whoa. Yeah, because these things do horribly. These things happen at concerts. Because then it's also like, because I guess the big question, it's almost similar to the Alec Baldwin thing. It's like how much blame are we attributing to Travis Scott in this versus like, the various people that are in charge of security and safety and stuff.
Well, there's been a lot of different ones, and it's like obviously he's the most satisfying scapegoat.
Like Baldwin.
Even though I think Baldwin might have played a part in this somehow as well.
I think he's to blame. I think we go back on our kind of more give Baldwin a break.
It'd be weird if we blame Baldwin for this.
Let's blame him for everything.
Yeah,
he can be the
argument was that he's the one who
inciting,
was producing the festival. It's his festival, and there were during the while on stage. He clearly had people say, help.
Yeah, and he kept going. There are several instances.
And there's people coming, whispering his ear, saying we should stop, and he says, no, we're carrying on.
Really?
That's happened. And
there are several instances where he does stop it.
briefly.
stop it. But yeah, but it's not
Oh
enough.
yeah, to be honest, it's one of those things where I really don't know enough
hard to
about.
tell.
I don't know enough about the processes that go in.
Yeah. Well, apparently, the chief of police, or the
chief of police.
the chief of police, yeah. The
King police.
King, Mr. Head Policeman.
Yeah.
Chief Constable, Mr. Policeman.
What did he say?
Head Police Officer, King Police.
Yeah, what
came
did he
in
say?
and he had this. To
And
say.
they're like, whoa, this guy's.
He had this. Oh well, that's a high up policeman. He had this to say. No, apparently he went into Travis Scott's dressing room beforehand, expressing his safety concerns.
What did Travis say?
He went, "Yeah, I just want to rap, yo."
Fair enough.
Yeah, I went, and that's what the chief of police said.
And that's herein lies the problem.
Therein lies the problem. No, but it's like, yeah. Well, there's been instances where Travis Scott has been in trouble for inciting the crowd previously. People have I think, once someone died for another festival we did, or another gig he did.
Flipping off.
Because he was trying to get someone to jump off.
Yeah.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, cool, yeah, it's your fault.
Yeah.
If you've previously tried to get someone to do something that might well result in death, then I don't really trust you in this situation.
I guess, yeah, and I mean, it does. Once again, it's hard to make a judgment when it's still quite emotionally raw.
Yeah.
And I don't know enough information, but I think it was just one of the kids was 14.
Yeah, it was
hot.
Like,
the fact that we've gone to the Sony festivals when we're that age,
horrible.
And it's even if you're imagine if your parents sending your kid off to their first couple of festivals.
There was someone,
the first time we had freedom as well.
Yeah.
A Reading festival when we were like 15.
Yeah, that should never be allowed to happen.
That was like the first time we really felt like, and it was great, but it was like the first time we felt like we were properly away from our parents. Imagine
there was there was one of the kids who'd been seriously injured, was like 9 years old or something. He was there with his dad. It was kind of a dumb move to bring a 9-year-old, but it's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah,
and you
also,
can imagine
there's
the
videos
horror,
on TikTok
the horror
of it happening.
Because it's like people imagine the horror of it like being trampled on.
It can't, like, luckily we're
But
tall.
there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
If you've gone down,
you're fucked.
There's nothing you can do,
It's
and there's
just
nothing
so
that
terrifying,
people. There's nothing that the people can do to stop that happening, and I mean, it's absolutely horrendous, But I don't know, because it's always like, well, this is a good place that you go and reform things, but it's tough. I'm not an expert in crowd safety, and I've never claimed to be.
Okay, yeah.
Well, maybe a couple of times, but how the fuck do you kind of stop and ensure these terrible things don't happen in these like mass concerts and mass events? I don't know. You can split more of the crowd up and stuff, but
I think that it was oversold.
Yeah.
It's clearly they hadn't thought about it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen that regularly.
It doesn't, yeah. And there's plenty of examples where it's fine, isn't there?
And also it doesn't happen to this scale. I don't know ever happened to this scale.
No, yeah, God, no, yeah.
So
yeah,
I think it's very similar to the Baldwin thing, though.
Yeah, and I think Travis has to take it.
But it's weird. This Baldwin thing and this Scott thing have happened both post-COVID, where like
I bet Baldwin's a bit fucking happy about this story. That's what I thought.
Well, knowing Baldwin, I've seen that Baldwin Halloween photo. You know that
he's already fine, isn't he?
He's just waiting for the news thing to. Yeah,
but he hears that and he's like, "What? A bigger celebrity has done something."
He said it out
with
loud.
More deaths.
When he heard.
When
someone told him the news, what a bigger celebrity has done something
worse
with
more deaths. Well, great,
brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's horrible events that.
But I think it's weird how it's like two things that were cancelled during COVID: filmmaking and music festivals.
You blaming COVID?
No, I'm just saying these are two symbols of like coming back to.
You make me sick. You absolutely disgust me.
But it's more. They've just come back to these things, and like imagine a music festival is the biggest.
You've forgotten how to do it.
No, but partly.
Yeah.
Well, partly I think so. I think it.
Yeah.
I do think both of these have come from the time off coming back in has and also the bizarre jarring of the rules and stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's weird that like we went from really stringent crowd control to now less stringent crowd control than I've ever seen at a festival ever.
Yeah, that's true. So there's just something. It's almost like a muscle memory that occurs when you're doing concerts day in, day out throughout the year.
And also because they're changing it from small capacity to what it normally was. And I think maybe over that shift, there could have been a discrepancy.
Yeah.
But it is also
someone would have caught something. Well, people did. I think that's the thing. People did. There were several concerns about it. And that's where blame has to lie somewhere with the organisers, whether that be Travis Scott or not, where people were realising that there were serious issues, but no one acted on it.
Yeah, and it's just like, these are the kids.
It's so dumb.
These are kids who have probably never been to festivals before. Also COVID.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Horrible.
But to end on a lighter note, because, you know, I think our stance on that is bad.
Yeah, like that shouldn't have happened.
Good. Pete Davidson's fucking again. My boy
Pete.
My boy Pete's fucking and sucking. He's been on the dates with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I guess it was a date.
Should we go through his dating history?
Yeah.
So
Ariana Grande.
So there was a comedian called Carly Aquiliano.
Sure.
And then he went out with
Ariana Grande.
Larry David's daughter, Kazzy David. And so he went from a comedian around his level. Then he started dating Larry David's daughter.
So he's just about moving up.
Yeah, just about. And then it was still like, I remember it's still like, it's like the burgeonings of a celebrity couple.
Yeah.
And then he has a huge jump and he goes to Ariana Grande that just blew everything up. And we're like, wow, he's sort of like lucked out. This is like a freak accident. Do you know what I mean? The way we were talking about it was like, so she's got self-esteem issues or something. Or like, not she's got self-esteem issues, but more like, this is just a lucky...
Well, I just think he's kind of hot.
Do you get it now?
Yeah,
you didn't get it before.
Did I not?
No, you didn't. During the Ariana Grande. So I'm sick of all these people coming out now.
Yeah.
We think he's hot because of the success he's had.
Yeah.
Has framed him as hot.
Okay,
he's actually not hot.
Yeah.
But he's got something.
But he's got that je ne sais quoi.
We wouldn't be talking about it so much.
Yeah.
If Leonardo DiCaprio, if he had this thing,
it'd be fine.
We wouldn't be talking about it if he wasn't ugly.
If Danny DeVito was having it, it would be cool. We get it. But there's something different about Pete.
And then the breakup happens. We're like, all right, well, he's had his time in the sun with the stars.
Now,
she's moving on.
Now go back
to comedians, whatever, people.
Yeah,
you know. And then he goes Kate Beckinsale as a brief stint.
Yeah, that was odd. I didn't even know about that, actually.
Then someone else, and now Kim Kardashian.
No, because he had rumours about him and, Kaylee Cuoco.
Fuck, so...
How do you say her second name? Quaker. Kaylee Quaker. Kaylee the Quaker.
Pete Davidson's girlfriends.
How do you say Kaylee Quaker?
Kaylee Quaker.
Kaylee
Quaker.
Kaylee Quaker. Well, no, then there was rumours of that just because I think that's just because they were filming something together. And then he's gone on to Kim.
Kate Beckinsale, Margaret Qualley, don't know who she is, Kaya Gerber, Phoebe
You're making up names.
No,
None
I'm
of
not.
These names exist.
Look, these are all lists. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, what? That's a list on the internet. Margaret Qualley.
There's pictures with him. So these are all. I don't know who they are. They're probably. So she's an actress in Bridgerton. Then now King K. What I don't understand.
That would be my best celebrity couple ever if Pete Davidson married Kim Kardashian. I'm so up for that. I'm really into it. I'd love to see Pete Davidson.
I like him living...
I'd like to see Pete Davidson raise Kanye West kids.
What I don't understand, though, is he works at SNL, which takes up a lot of time. He's also severely depressed.
Correct.
And he makes documentaries about how depressed he is. He's got a documentary about him in his mum's basement.
Yeah.
And how he still can't leave his mum's house because he's got such bad mental health issues that he's only recently stopped smoking weed every day.
Yeah.
Where does he find the time
to date Kim Kardashian?
And the other 8 high-profile women in not a long period of time.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande was about...
Ariana Grande was a longer period of time.
That was an actual girlfriend. When they broke up, that was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, but a lot of these reports aren't going to be that legit, are they?
There's photos of him kissing each of these girls in that thing. It was a brief stint at most.
We've all kissed Kate Beckinsale.
No, we haven't.
We've all kissed Kate Beckinsale.
We haven't all kissed.
No, we've all had a bit of crazy Saturday night at Printworks.
No, we haven't all kissed Kate Beckinsale.
I don't know about
And the point is, I was also reading an article from Emily Ratajkowski. Okay.
Yes.
I would say objectively, the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yeah, because you're a pervert.
No, but not pervert. More just like, all right, fine.
Because you objectify women.
No, but fine. She's...
Yeah, you see women as less
No, because I'm like, all right, fine. She's the...
No, yeah.
She's the most pretty one.
Yeah, the pretty, yeah, sure, yeah.
She's the most beautiful one, but it's not like even a sexual thing. It's like,
because
okay,
of the hatred
scientifically...
you have for women, yeah.
She's the beauty standard.
It's like the same thing with the Nazis with like the different sized skulls. It's that kind of thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, she is gorgeous. Yeah, she's
So-
not the most beautiful woman in the world.
Do you not think?
No,
Who is the most beautiful one in the world?
it's Alexandra Daddario.
Damas. And okay, I disagree.
Yeah,
Do you think
because
who
I
do you
see
think-
women
who do you
as
think's
because
more
I see
attractive?
women as human
Emily,
beings.
I'm sorry to this is bad, but Emily Ratajkowski or Susanna Reid? Because I know Susanna Reid is your go-to.
Because that's the thing. I see women as humans.
yeah.
And Susanna Reid can hold her own on Good Morning Britain.
Can
Can Emily Ratajkowski? No.
Anyway, sorry, I'm getting away from my point. Let's just say she's sort of the pinnacle, certainly up there as well.
Other than Alexandra Daddario.
Don't even know her name.
No,
And
I
you're
can't
saying,
pronounce
I
it.
respect them as
The
humans.
lady-
And you're like, yeah, you can't talk about it, but you can't even learn how to pronounce her fucking name. Yeah, I respect them as humans. Emily Ratajkowski recently
The one
released...
who's in
Yeah, I know who she is. Anna de Armas.
No, not Anna de Armas.
Oh.
She's the second most. Alexandra.
Have you got a list?
Yeah, kind of. It's developing now. Alexandra Daddario. She was in True Detective.
Okay.
What do you mean? Okay, I'm trying. You're not even listening, are
I'm
you?
still trying to make this point.
And I'm still trying to make my point. The woman, and she's in. Did you watch White Lotus?
No, I didn't watch it.
Okay, well then you're just not cultured enough.
Fine. And Emily Ratajkowski has, I don't know, in an interview with something, has been asked about Pete Davidson. She's like, I get it. I find him very attractive. Just openly talking about, she's got a kid and a husband. I don't know if I was the husband, I'd be like, well, hang on a minute.
But you're very insecure.
I'm incredibly.
Yeah.
It's just like, and I think people, you forget how tall he is. That was the one thing she said. And also, he's super charming and he has a great relationship with his mum, which is really hard to find in men. So those are the sort of lists as to why he's so attractive. But I still don't quite get it.
Yeah.
Do you? So you think he's hot?
Well, because we've spoken about this a lot, that physical attraction is just not that important for men.
For women? Yeah.
For men,
Yeah.
for women, yeah. And I think because it's just there's a certain, I like seeing him in SNL.
He must be a dick slinger.
Of course he's a dick slinger. Of
He
course he's
must
got
be
a
like-
massive knob. Wake up and smell the cock. Jesus Christ, Horatio.
Is this one of your hot dog lines?
Yeah, why? Wake up and smell the cock.
Wake up and smell the cock.
Hot dogs, £5.50. They'll £10.
The Pete Davidson. And it's
The
a
Pete Davidson.
jumbo
And
hot dog.
it's a jumbo dog.
Yeah,
Of course
so
he's
go
got
on.
a massive dong.
Sorry, educate me.
Of course he's got a massive
Tell me.
dong. Because I don't. Of course he does. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like all these women,
He dresses well.
Sure, yeah, he does. He's
tall.
subversive. He's funny. He's got this. Yeah, don't look down. You're trying to work out if he's funny. He's a comedian. Okay,
Yeah.
Might not be to your taste. I can see the charm in him. I can see his charm. And he's got big dick energy, and that comes from a big old dick.
He had no friends at school, and he started doing stand-up when he was like 14.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it still doesn't quite add up to me.
He's yet to like lock one of these women down.
Because of his mental health issues.
And his massive penis. It's
Do you think-
intimidating.
Do you think it's
It's intimidating.
The-
Come on.
the short
Wake
term-
up, Horatio. Wake up.
So do you think the short-term success of Pete Davidson is his big cock and his mental health
And
issues?
that's why he's
And
got
then his
long-term
long-term issues
It's a big cock
is
in his
his-
mental health.
They're looking for someone who's stable mentally with a more
Small penis.
manageable
With a
cock.
small penis.
With a small one.
Women
manageable.
want small penis.
Manageable.
Look, I didn't write the book on women, but I know a lot about them.
Do you think... you did write a book on women.
I did. Available on Amazon paperback now. And Kindle. There's an e-Kindle
Can you guys
edition.
comment what it is that makes Pete Davidson so attractive? Because I don't know if
Tattoos, sexy, big knob, funny guy, charming, kisses on roller coasters, holds hands, mentally depressed, lives with his mum.
Where does he find the time?
You're more obsessed with his diary.
I'm more obsessed with his diary because I'm like, Pete, I've watched quite a few things of Pete, and I've seen he's very vulnerable and open, which I guess is one of his attractions.
Absolutely, yeah.
But he lives in his mum's basement.
His dad died.
Yeah, that adds something as
His
well.
dad died.
In 9/11.
Dad died big cock. I can't believe I keep having to spell this out for you, man.
So if someone asks you in a bar, so why do you think Dad died?
Dad died big cock. Dad
say
died
it
big
like
cock.
that?
Dad died big cock. Simple. It's a simple equation. And God bless him, man.
So do you think that's
more
what I'm
power to
potentially
him.
missing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my dad's alive.
You
and
can
I've got a
kill your
small
dad,
cock.
but you still got 50% of the problems.
So I need a big knob and a dead dad.
Yeah, well, you'd have to dead dad is an easy problem to solve. A murder. Just kill the cunt. Whereas penis enlargement surgery is more difficult. Nah.
No, they don't work.
No, that's small dick energy thinking. Oh, if I just do that to it a bit.
No, one of those penis pumps.
Yeah, but anyone...
Just inflate it.
You're never going to get there.
I'm never going to get the Pete Davidson jumbo hot dog.
You're never going to get the P Diddy jumbo dog. The Pete Dave jumbo dog.
Yeah, if I was a hot dog stand, I'd call it the Pete Davidson, and I'd have different ones for each one of his relationships for the different variations.
Yeah, the Kim K.
The Kim K.
The Kim K, and that's got spicy jalapenos on it. Kate Beckinsale is with extra mayo.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah. The Ariana Grande has...
It's bigger. It's grande.
Sure, yeah.
Fine.
No, yeah. but then surely the hot dogs get too big at that point.
Well, that's why she broke up with him.
So it's a metaphor and a hot dog.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Subscribe to the Patreon.